We're good to go. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. Very, very exciting here. New location. Vital transformation or Vital transformation. Vital is the name of Rabbi Chaim Vital, the student of Rabbi Isaac Luria. So I'm going to start from the beginning of what we call Talmud Eser Sefirot, the study of the 10 Sefirot. With the time, I'm going to take it step by step to make sure that everybody is in the same page. It's also very important for us that whatever we teach here, you will be able to teach it to others. So that's why we're starting from scratch, from beginning. And the way that we know that the students are getting it is by you are capable of teaching it to others. Because we don't want to just go fast with the book, and then if I ask you, please tell me how to teach it to others, and you can't, then we're missing something. That's the first thing. Second thing I want to say, when you study this type of Kabbalah, which is based on Rabbi Chaim Vital's study, you need two things. You need two skills. One skill is memory. Second skill is understanding. So it's not enough just memory. You need to understand it. So it's a different style of teaching. It's not like studying just the Zohar or the Ari or motivational class of Kabbalah. This is the real study, how they study for thousands of years. So I will stop also to make sure you're asking questions so we all stay in the same page. We don't want to leave anybody from behind. We want to make sure we're all growing in the same level and we're all able to teach it. Okay, so that's very important introduction that I'm giving, because I don't want to just, we teach and accomplish another page, if we're not capable of really growing to where we need to grow. Okay, so that's fair. Any questions so far? Okay. So I'm going to read first from Rabbi Isaac Luria, then I'm going to go into Or Plimi in a light, which is Rav Ashlag, okay? So I will read it in Hebrew, then translate it. Da, ki, Rabbi Isaac Luria, start with da. Da means you need to know, ki, because Terem shenetzlu haneetzalim, before the emanated word emanate, and he used the word emanated. Emanated, were emanate. He doesn't use before the creator want to create something. He used ne'etzalim. Come from the word atzilut. Okay, you gotta remember. Now your memory is gonna work. I will tell you when you need to understand, when you need to memorize. Now it's memory. Memory is when I say words in Hebrew. When I say words in Hebrew, in your mind, you want to remember. So ne'etzalim means emanator. So the word of emanation, you need to remember, is the first level. There is 4 levels or 4 universes. The first one is called Atzilut. Please say it after me so it will register. Atzilut. Very good. The word of Atzilut, or the word in English of emanation. So that's why he starts, it's not just a coincidence that he used the word, the emanated word emanate. He used it because that's how the order of things need to be. So it's not a coincidence he used that word. I want to make sure it's clear to everybody, okay? Is that clear? Don't be shy to ask. Don't be shy to stop me. Because if you don't stop me and you don't understand, later on it will hurt you. So always ask. And don't worry about the group. You got to stop the group. It's better we do it as a group. Everybody understand that one of us missing it. So it's never bad to ask. Always ask, okay? Ne'etzlu haneetzalim v'nivreu hanevraim. And the creature or the whatever need to be created were created. So you use now different words. Creator. So come from the word creation. For memory reason, we're going back to memory. Emanation, creation, formation, and action. Were you able to remember those 2, 3, 4 words? Let's try to see if we're memorizing it. Memory and understanding. Remember, in Kabbalah you need 2 things. Understanding and memory. Not everything that you remember you need to understand right away, but everything you understand you need to remember. Okay, memory skills is a necessity, so for later on you will need to understand it. So if I use a word like Atzilut, next week you would know it's emanation. If I use the word Bria, next week you need to know it's creation. Yetzira, formation. Asiya, action. Okay, very good, very good. So can we go through that again? So Atzilut is what? Very good. Bria. Good. Formation. Very good. And action is? Very good. I tried to confuse it to see how you guys are doing, and you're doing pretty well. So the way Rabbi Isaac Luria is doing, what he's doing, he take the words and he use it purposely. If you guys don't feel comfortable, wherever you see, just move the chair around so you can see me and listen to me. Don't miss a word that you hear. It's very, very important that you hear everything. So before the emanated were emanated, before the creator created everything, Aya Or Elyon. It was Or Elyon. It was the upper light. He used the word Or Elyon. Aya Or Elyon Pashut. Simple upper light. Again, we didn't even start. We're just reading Rabbi Isaac Luria. Just to let you know, we're going words by words to make sure we all can teach it to others. The goal that you understand it is you capable to teach it to others. So it was one upper light, Aya Or Elyon Pashut, that was simple, Memale Kol HaMtziut, fulfilled the entire existence. Now, what does that mean, simple? Pashut. Pashut in Hebrew can be explained in different way. Pashut means simple. Pashut means mitpashet. Mitpashet means to undress. And pashut would also mean mitpashet, mean to spread out. So you can look at it at a different angle. So the Rabbi Isaac Luria is giving us a secret. We need to find what he means by that. So it was fulfilled the entire existence. We need to raise the doubts here. Existent, what existed? It was nothing there. How can it fulfill all the existence if it was nothing being created yet? So I'm giving you that doubt, keep it in the back of your mind, and you need to ask yourself, why would he say that? ולא היה שום מקום פנוי, nothing was empty, בבחינת אוויר ריקני, what we call empty air. וחלל, or space, אלא היה הכל ממולא, everything was fulfilled with endless light. That was simple. ולא היה לו לא בחינת ראש, it didn't have no head, ולא בחינת סוף, it didn't have any tail. אלא הכל היה, everything was אור אחד פשוט. One simple light, שווה, equal, בהשוואה אחת everywhere, and that's והוא הנקרא אור אינסוף, and that's what we call endless light. So we will have audio for you to listen to, we will have video for you to listen to. We need to practice to listen for memory and understanding. Now we're going to go to the simple way of understanding it through Rav Ashlag. But before we go there, any question? Did I lost a face of someone, an ears or brain or something that you want to ask about what I say, not what I didn't say? Do you have any question about what I did say so far? Yes, no, confused, don't know what to ask because it was above my head. I don't even know where to start. Any brain like that? Don't be shy. Doesn't make you not smart if you ask.
Where are all these worlds? Is it here?
The words?
The four worlds.
No, we don't talk about four worlds. No, we don't talk about. We talk about what we talk. Always ask me about what I teach, not about what you want to know. Okay, so I will make it very clear all the time. To make sure unity in the group, we're always going to ask about, if we talk about Atzlut, Bria, Yetzirah, Asiyah. If I didn't mention more than that, we don't need to ask about it. If I want to mention more than that, I will tell you. Okay? It has to be study of the theory, has to be specifically done in a perfect way that Rav Ashlag and Rabbi Isaac Luria is teaching. Okay? So it's very, very important. Any more questions before I'm going into Rav Ashlag? Yes?
Why is it important to know all these details?
Very good question. Why do we even study those details? What's the purpose of studying those details? Well, we're living in illusionary world. We're living in what we call Olam Asiyah. We're living in the world that was affected by the tree of knowledge, good and bad. We're not living in a reality universe. We're living in an illusionary universe. So it's very difficult to connect to what religious people or spiritual people call God or Creator. When people tell God, we don't even know what God is. When people say Creator, we don't know what Creator. This study is helping you step by step to connect to what the light is or what the energy is. You want to connect to that. Every soul want to connect to the original. So this study is before creation. Before creation of Adam and Eve, before creation of God as we know God is. So that's why it's very important to study. By the way, Rav Ashlag tells his student that when he studied, you get cleansing to your soul of like 1 year of study. 1 hour equal to 1 year. And that's why I didn't know how exactly it worked, that we start from Talmud Eser Sefirot. We're starting from study of the Sefirot. I didn't even know why we start from that, because that's kind of the heaviest duties of Kabbalah. But, you know, sometimes the divine have a different plan. I thought we're starting in February, and all of a sudden I'm finding myself teaching in January. Well, meant to be, you know, meant to be. So the study is very important. It's for the soul to know the path. So the soul will not get lost. Whenever we go to sleep, the soul go to heaven, so we know the path. Whenever a person dies, but that's the way to go. So the person will know the path to the Garden of Eden, and how not to fall into hell. This study is giving you the exact direction. It's almost like guiding you how the soul will go in the right path. Because this physical universe is only a test for the body and the soul to live together. It's a very difficult test. We're living in a test every day. Because the body wants one thing and the soul wants another. The body is a super selfish machine, but within the body, you have the most generous and sharing and loving part of us, which is called the soul. You put them both together, it's a disaster already. People try to bring peace to the Middle East. Forget peace to the Middle East. I cannot even bring peace to myself. My soul and body don't get along. How can we bring peace anywhere? That's what the reason for the study, okay? All right. Can we start? Okay, good. צריכים לזכור. This is Rav Ashlag, this is what he writes. We need to remember שכל חוכמת הקבלה, that all the wisdom of Kabbalah, מיוסדת על עניינים רוחניים, is based on spiritual words and knowledge. שאינם תופסים לא מקום ולא זמן. Those words we're using in this study has no makom, there's no space, neither there is any time that is attached to it. ונעדר ותמורה, there is nothing been missing or nothing been adding, נוהג בהם כל עיקר. וכל השינויים, and every change that we're talking about, הנאמרים בחוכמה הזאת, that we talk in this wisdom, אין זאת אומרת שהבחינה הראשונה נעדרת, it doesn't mean that the last form was disappeared, and another form appear, מקבל צורה אחרת, אלא השינוי האמור, the change and the transformation that we talk about, הוא עניין תוספת הצורה, it's only additional form, לבד. בצורה הראשונה, איננה זזה במקומה. Very difficult for a brain of a human being to agree and understand it, because it's difficult. Because what Rav Ashlag writes here, and everything that we study here, has to do only with spiritual words. It's nothing to do with something physical. So when we talk about time, and we will talk about time, it's a spiritual time. So we need to explain what time is. So that's what's difficult within this study, that we have to define every time again and again what the words mean. And your job is to memorize it. Understanding the memory, I'm repeating to whoever came just now, there's two things in the study of Talmud Eser Sefirot. Is memory and understanding. Don't forget those two words. Memory and understanding. Sometimes you need to remember, don't understand. Sometimes you need to understand. And I will tell you when it's time to remember, what time is to understand. So, Rav Ashlag is telling us something unique, which is kind of very difficult. You can hear me? Okay, that's what I thought. Hi. Rav Ashlag is telling us something difficult for the brain to capture. Listen carefully, and if you have doubts about it or questions, don't be shy to ask. I want you to ask.
Can I ask you?
Yes, please.
I missed the first part. Which book are you reading from?
It's called Talmud Eser Sefirot. I don't think you're familiar with that. Familiar with that?
Written by?
Rabbi Isaac Luria and Rav Ashlag together, combination. So, Rav Ashlag is sharing with us something unique. He writes that if I take this cup, okay, everybody can see that in the back? You can see it? So I take it from here, that's the table, from here, and I move it here. Now, this kind of thing not exist in the spiritual universe, because there is no movement, there is no space, and there is no time. Those three things not exist in the spiritual universe. So whenever you talk about time, space, or movement, you're no longer connected to the spiritual universe. So it's difficult for the brain, because our brain relate to those three things is a major thing for our decision making. We move, we measure things by time, right? And we measure things by space. In science, most things based on that. You drove from here to the valley. It takes you a certain time, certain space that you have to go through, and it's great motion, speed or motion. Now, Rav Ashlag says something unique. If this cup was here, point B, and moved to point A or A to B, the cup that was in B and moved to A, it's still in B. It never disappeared. It's just been added to the next point. Now that's a brain cannot take it. Our brain will absolutely will not accept it. Why? Because our brain is trained to think with whatever was there and move there is no longer exist there. So the disappearance of something, we don't think it's still there. And the brain, that's what Rav Ashlag said, before we study, first you need to change that in your mind. Because otherwise you will not understand this study. You will not be able to. Because we are addicted or attached to the physical universe in a way, if you live, let's say, in Australia, and you came to visit here only for the lecture, are you in Australia before you left still there? If there is no time, you are. You're still in Australia. Are you here as well? Yes. So that's the brain already, you feel like cuckoo. You feel like you're losing it. Like, you can't talk to me like that. This is already crazy people talk like that. Not normal people. But Rav Ashlag said, if you want to understand spiritual knowledge, you have to go through that first. That's the change. And it's very difficult, my friend. Because the brain will always convince you that something is off. So you want always to go back to your body consciousness, and the soul want to go to soul consciousness. It's a very big fight. The war is all day long. Think about it. That you write, אין זאת אומרת שהבחינה הראשונה נעדרת. The first form never disappeared. Never disappeared. מקבלת צורה אחרת, אלא השינוי האמור הוא עניין תוספת הצורה. There is only additional form. There is never something missing. So spiritual people, to be spiritual is to understand that nothing ever left you. It's very difficult, by the way, very difficult. But it's if you're able to do it, let's say 10 minutes a day, you did well. 10 minutes a day. The practice is you capable to keep your mind to say nothing ever been gone. Those of you ever lost dear people, like I lost my father. So to be able to know that my father is here, the Rav is here, it's difficult because I want to touch him, I want to talk to him. I might talk to him, but he doesn't talk back all the time, right? It's difficult. How can you tell me he's here? I can't take it. Or those of you who have relationship that didn't fall, that fall apart, didn't continue, you're still in the relationship while it was good. You're still there. And you still move into the next relationship, but this never go away. The brain has a very difficult time with it. Once you convince yourself that it's possible, then you start growing into the level of the real Kabbalah, according to Rabbi Chaim Vital, Rabbi Isaac Luria. That's what Rabbi Isaac Luria tried to create. And that's why, how many students did he have? One. Who would understand him? Who would understand him? All those rabbis that ran away from people who tried to kill them because they didn't know who to talk to. Rabbi Avraham Abulafia, who was chased by another rabbi from Spain. And that's why he hid in Sicily. All those Kabbalists, Rabbi Moshe Chaim Luzzatto, that forced by other rabbi to burn his books. Because he talked like this, and they look at him like, what is that? Kill him. Because people didn't know what to do with him. Only in our generation that things start to become more open for that, it's beautiful. It's more open. So Rav Ashlag did a breakthrough. Without him, nothing ever would happen. And then, of course, his student, of course, my teacher. And from that point, step by step, it's been revealed. So it's saying, כי ההיעדר וההשתנות המה מדרכי הגשמיים. Whoever is looking for always physical change is attached to the physical universe. מדרכי הגשמיים. And we always say, I would like to feel something new. I remember my teacher once told me, I asked, where is it better to be spiritually? LA, New York, Israel? So my teacher looked at me and said to me, Eliyahu, I can answer it. At that time, he told me, but don't say it to everybody because it might confuse people. So I said, I think today I can say it because it's after 18 years when he told me that. He said, the truth of the matter is, it doesn't really make a difference. And it shouldn't make a difference to you. And I hope one day you will get there. And what my teacher tried to tell me is, it doesn't really matter where you are if you're thinking like that. Because it says, כי ההיעדר וההשתנות הם מדרכי הגשמיים. Everything that has to do with change, I'm happy now. We move to a new house, I'm happy now. I buy a new car, I'm happy now. A person nothing changed really. In a spiritual universe, there is no change. You understand? It's always add, but it's not a change. I want to make sure it's clear to everybody. Yes? I'm looking at your eyes. Everybody clear on that? וזהו כל הקושי למתחילים. Rav Ashlag said, and that's what makes it difficult for people to study the real essence of תלמוד 10 ספירות. Why it's so difficult? כי תופסים הדברים בביטויים הגשמיים, because they take in the words and use it in a physical way, בגבולים של זמן ומקום חילוף ותמורה, and they take everything with the concept of physicality, with change, with I have it, I don't have it, I'm going up, I'm going down, I feel it, I don't feel it. Many times people go in a spiritual organization and they feel it, and then they don't feel it. And then they have certainty, then they don't have certainty. And then I believe it, then I'm in love. I'm not in love. You know those people who hold the flower? You love me not. And then they take another flower for a second opinion, you know? So, you know, it's never enough. It's never again and again and again. It's never enough. אשר המחברים השתמשו בהם רק לסימנים בעלמא. He said the Kabbalists only use physical words to help us out על שורשיהם העליונים, so we will understand what's really going on in the upper level. ולפיכך, אתאמץ לפרש כל מילה ומילה בצביונה הרוחני. Say Rav Ashlag with a beautiful Hebrew, I will make an effort to go words by words to explain it in the meaning of spirituality. המופשט במקום ומזמן מתמורה, and I will be able to help you to remove time, space, and motion from that, and change, and physical change, ועל המעיינים, and for you, the one who want to study, מותר לחקוק היטב בזיכרונם. I'm asking you, please, put it in your memory את פירוש המילות, the meaning of the words. So you use the word memory, בזיכרונם. כי אי אפשר לחזור עליהם בכל פעם, because we cannot repeat those words again and again. So one of the things I would like to ask from you guys is to memory. Memory, whatever we talk about every Thursday night when we meet here, you gotta use your memory skills, and the way you know your memory is working and the knowledge working, you need to be able, whatever I'm teaching tonight, you have to be able to teach it to another human being. Okay? I don't care that you make like a group here and meet and teach it to each other and repeat it. That's how they used to study it, by the way. It's called chevruta. Chevruta means that you sit with another person and you both study together and you repeat it to each other. It's very important. It's very important because if I am here to teach it and you are here to study it, it's fun. My ego can go up. I have beautiful followers, but it's not. We're not doing the purpose of the study. The purpose of the study is that the student will be able to become a teacher. That's the purpose of the study. Purpose of every spiritual study that the student able to teach. The student able to teach. Otherwise, we're not going to change the world. If I'm going to be here and you coming and we enjoy each other, then we create a codependency. You know, I'm giving you, you receive it from me, you give me love, I give you love, and it's not a good ending. But if I'm giving you the knowledge and you find people to help with that knowledge, that really makes the creator, the divine, happy. Okay? And you don't have to worry if you're not teaching it perfectly okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. Just care that you try to teach something to other person. Then that's good enough. We didn't start yet, by the way. Now we're going to first verse. What Rav Ashlag did here, just to appreciate Rav Ashlag, he took Rabbi Isaac Luria book that was written by Rabbi Chaim Vital. That's one of the reasons we're calling this non-profit organization Vital Transformation, or Vital. Those of you American have difficult time to say Vital, so it's Vital Transformation. All right? And what he did, he took sections in a prophecy way from different sections of Rabbi Chaim Vital and put them together. That's what I read before. And then you go words by words for things that might be not understood to people like us, simple people like us. And when you have this prophecy power, he was able to touch different words and translate them into the real meaning. Okay? So now we're ready to go. First verse. Da ki terem shenetzlu hanetzalim. You need to know that before the emanated was emanate. Remember that? Now let's see what Rav Ashlag does to it. Terem. What is terem? Terem means before. Rav Ashlag said, terem means before. It say, you have to go back and explain what does that mean before? Because before mean what? Time. If we say there is no time in spirituality, how can you use terem? How can you use the word before? I want to make sure everybody first understand the question before I give the answer, because the answer has no value if you don't get the question. Question is way more important than the answer. The answer is important if the question is like appreciated. So is the question clear? People in the back, don't be shy to ask. Yes, clear. Is the question clear there? Yes?
No.
No? Who say no? I want to see the eyes. Please.
I said no.
No, good. Then. So, we just say that in the spiritual universe, there is no time. But the way Rabbi Isaac Luria starts the section is say you need to know that before. Now the word before is related to a time. Agree with that? So, Rabbi Isaac raised a question, raised a doubt question, not in a bad doubt. There is good doubts and bad doubts. Good doubts is when you're raising doubts and you try to solve it. Bad doubts, you're just raising doubts to look smart. So a good doubt is what Rav Ashlag does. He raising a doubt and he say, how can that be that we use the word terem, which means before, if there is no time in spirituality? Is the question clear? Make sense? Is it clear or not clear to somebody? It's very important. Yes, yes, in the back? We all good? Yes? Good. So let's see what the answer. ודבר הזמן בהגדרתו הרוחני. To understand it, we need to know what it means time in spirituality. So this, guys, you got to remember. The explanation I'm going to give now from Rav Ashlag, you need to memorize it, and it will stay with you for the rest of your life. Which means in 4 a.m. somebody wake you up, you have to be able to say it words to words like that. So please listen carefully, okay? What is time from a spiritual point of view? תבין, you need to understand. כי כל עיקר מושג הזמן אצלנו אינו אלא הרגש של תנועות. What is time? Say Rav Ashlag. Is a feeling of motions. Think about it for a second. Digest it. What is time? Feeling of? Okay, now I see you remember. Let's see if we understand. Does it make sense to you? It doesn't make sense to you. Why it doesn't make sense? Go ahead, say it.
Motion, movement. What is the relation?
He said, what is the relation with time? You're wearing a watch? You have a watch? No. When you wear a watch or you look at the iPhone for time, usually you look at motion. You see the second moving, right? Motions measure time. Without motion, very difficult to know time. Think about it for a second, just sit with it, just think about it. And I will continue to read. ככל עיקר מושג הזמן אצלנו אלא הרגש של תנועות. כי מוח המדמה שבאדם, it's beautiful words in Hebrew, if you, the words he's using here, it's like an old Hebrew. מוח המדמה שבאדם, the brain that imagine in a human brain, מצייר ומרקם, draw and knit or put together, מספר מסוים של תנועות, a certain amount of motions, שהרגיש בהם זו אחר זו, that we felt one after another, ומעתיקם בדמיון זמן. And in the imagination, we call it time. So Rav Ashlag says something very unique. The way we know time is when we know motion. If you don't know motion, you cannot know time. What do you think about it now? Is it okay or not sitting okay yet? If it's not equal, don't be shy. It's not. You start digesting it. Yes, no. How are we doing that?
So motion has a start and an end. time is in between.
Time cannot be measured if there is no motion. Time cannot be measured. If you don't have any motion, you cannot get time. Our planet is a motion. We experience motion. Everything with motion is related to time. This is not only Kabbalah, this is scientifically. So, if I look at my watch, there is motion. Today they have watch with no motion, just show you the time. Every place, for example, if you sit still and you will not be able to hear your heartbeat, God forbid, but let's say, which is motion in a way, and you will be in a dark room, you wouldn't know when it's day, when it's night, you would not be able to know time. Would you agree with that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So time is relating to movement. Without movement, there is no measurement of time. Measurement of time can only come from a place of motion. And that's why it's difficult in the spiritual universe that there is no motion. Look at the secret I'm sharing with you now. In the spiritual universe, my dear friend, there's never motion. And that's why it's almost wrong to pray to God to say, I need that or I need that. We need to start doubting ourselves who we actually praying to. If you need to pray to God to ring the bell for God, that mighty one, to remind him what you need, we got a problem here. Because if that mighty one need to be a reminder by me, then really, I mean, you know, well, then maybe I'm doing better. He forgot and I remember what I need. So we need to ask those questions, raising a doubts to positive doubts. Second thing we need to do is the endless light, the creator has no motion, never will have a motion. It never moves. Because if it moves,
It changes, and it never changes.
exactly, it changes and there is lack. Something that moves has lack. Something which is fulfilled never moves. Is it start getting into your mind? Do I lose some brain? Somebody have a tough day at work, so the brain cannot, woo, that's above my head. Yes? No, yes, don't be shy. Ask any question, even whatever you're afraid that might sound stupid. Every stupid question might be the smartest question ever. Yes? So don't be shy to stop me. I need to continue with this section.
So when we see shapes, we're actually translating the feeling of emotion that we have.
Shape? What do you mean by shape?
When we see things.
I'm not sure I'm clear on the question.
Objects, you mean?
Motion. I'm talking about motion. Motions is movement. So movement is related to the physical universe. In the upper universe, in the endless light, there is actually no movement. Never will be a movement. And that's what's difficult for people, because they try to understand God from a physical point of view. It's very difficult for people to pray to God from spiritual point of view. So most people, doesn't matter what religion they are, Christian, Muslim, Jewish, everybody pray to God, like people use the word, I saw the light. I saw the light. What do you mean you saw the light? What do you mean you saw the light? Which light? The inner light. Oh, you mean you opened the refrigerator? What inner light you saw exactly? Inner light, right? I mean, the light is not something you see or feel. It's something that always exists. You know, so we need to reawakening something from within that we can connect to the light. You cannot add something. You can connect to something. And when you go to pray and meditate, you connect to an existence that exists. When you change yourself, you're actually channeling this energy to come down. That's actually what you're doing. But you cannot say, for example, I have a bad day or I have a good day. You're allowed to say it, I'm sorry, you're allowed to say it. But it's not really exist. There's no bad day or good day. There's never going to be a good day. There'll never be a bad day. We're experiencing bad day because I am either going through a process of tikkun, of correction, or I need something to change, or there is a karma that I'm dealing with, or I'm not doing the correct connection. My connection is sometimes the phone is not working. It doesn't mean that the phone is bad, or I don't know, AT&T or Verizon is bad. Could be just that you didn't pay the bill. Simple. So going back to our subject, if the person will be totally in rest with this environment, לא היה יודע אז במושג הזמן ולא כלום. He would have never know what time is. והנה כן הדבר גם ברוחניים, the same thing in spirituality. שסכום מסוים, listen carefully, what is time in spirituality? Now we're defining time in spirituality, you need to remember that. Time in spirituality mean סכום מסוים של חידושי הצורות, a certain amount of changing of form, that I'm going to explain in a second, הנבחנות לתנועות רוחניות, that we call spiritual motion, המסובבות זו בזו, that are cause and effect to one another, בדרך סיבה ומסובב, cause and effect, מכנים אותם בשם זמן, we call it time, ברוחניות. ועניין קודם ואחר כך, when we say the word before and after, פירושו תמיד כמו סיבה ומסובב. So Rav Ashtak said, when we use the word terem, by the way, what we did now is only one word, terem. We're building a strong foundation. It's very important the foundation will be strong. Terem means before. So when we use the word before, we only meant the cause. So for now, when you hear in Kabbalah the word before, or in the Zohar, the word before, you know it only means the cause. Because there is no time in spirituality. So it's the cause. And when you hear the word after, it's the effect. Because there is no time. There's no before, there is no after. There is cause and effect. Cause and effect. Remember that. That's what we mean in time. Now, what is time in spirituality mean? A certain amount of changing of form. Remember, glass was in A, now the glass moved to B. That's one changing of form. Time means how many of those things happen to you? How many of changing of form happening? Because changing of form is in our brain has to be, if I'm here and I move next to the door, I am no longer here, I'm next to the door only. But that, in spirituality, it's very difficult for the brain, try to capture that, it's very difficult. In spirituality, that movement never takes place. Because in spirituality, you're in both places in the same time. It's very difficult to see the brain like, what?
Because there is no time.
There is no time and there is no motion.
That's right.
So the brain like, what's going on? I can't take it. But if you think spiritually, if you close your eyes, you can be in any place you want. Because the eyes limit you. Because the eyes telling you you're only here. You're only here in Christ, right? But if you close your eyes, where are you? Jerusalem, Tehran, Isfahan, right? China, Thailand. We will travel all over the world, right? We are everywhere we want. So what limited you? What limited you to be everywhere and to always feel fulfilled? What limited you? Only one problem, the body. Only the body. Without the body, you are a perfect person. So when people tell me, I'm terrible, you're never terrible. Never. Somebody one time came to the Baal Shem Tov, one of the greatest tzaddikim of all time, and talked to him so bad. He told him, you're a terrible person. He judged him for everything he did. Terrible words he talked to him. The Baal Shem Tov looked at him and said to him, you're right. You're right about every word you say about me. You're right, and even I'm worse than that. But that's related to my body. My soul? You're absolutely wrong. I love that answer. So from now on, we can answer that to people. Somebody judge you, say, you're absolutely right. You have ego, you're right. Everything you say about me, you're right. But my soul, which is connected to the Creator, to the Divine, that's perfect. And it's always going to stay perfect. And it's everywhere. And it's immortal. The body. So when we come here to this universe, there's a struggle. Tough struggle. Tough struggle. When you fight it with someone, when you have argument with someone, you only fight it in the body level. The soul will never fight because the soul knows the truth. So when somebody insults you, they cannot insult your soul, they can only insult your body consciousness. Because the soul is everywhere. The soul already finished and start the tikkun. You start everything and you finish everything. We are in the end of time and the beginning of time. We are in the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve, and we are with the Messiah in the end, because there is no time. So what are we worried about? What are we angry about? Well, you heard about this? I talk to him all day long, doesn't want to listen. It's this. That's called the tikkun. And that's the tough part. That's the tough part. He doesn't want to listen. Gotta feed it, gotta wash it, right? Gotta change the clothes. Like a baby. Doesn't want to listen, doesn't want to grow. And that's why we are in this universe to make the tikkun, the tough tikkun. And that's why God make us meet the wrong people. We need to meet the wrong people. They are way more important than the right people, by the way. The right people don't add a lot to your life. It's nice, you eat with them dinner, you have fun, I don't know, you dance with them. But the wrong people is the one who build up your body. The body needs it. The one who insult you. The one who humiliate you. The one who talk bad about you. You need that, hey, body, you see? See what they tell about you? I told you that yesterday. They say the same thing. You have ego. Shame on you. So the body is the part in us who don't want to believe in spirituality. And the wrong people come to build up that body. It's very painful. Once you no longer relate to your body, to this study, that's what this study does to you, by the way. That's what you asked. That's what this study does to you. Then you start looking at life very different. It's dangerous sometimes because you can be in the middle of a party or in the middle of argument and you're going to look at everything like, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? What's the big deal? And you know, somebody very dear to me, 2 months ago, somebody I'm not close to, invite me to lunch and tell me how much he loved me. And those of you who know me well, I like to be direct and honest. And I said, I don't get it. So what is that you don't get? I said, we don't have that relationship. We hardly talk to each other. Why you take me to lunch and you say you love me, you don't even know me? I'm sorry to be honest, you gotta help me out here. Then he looked at me and said to me, Eliyahu, 15 years ago, you share a story that changed my entire life. Did I share a story, really? Can I hear the story? He said, yes. So I'm going to share with you the story. And it was in a very tough moment in my life. My wife just gave birth to my son, Michael. And we had a difficult time, too, my wife and me at that time, because Michael had to stay in a hospital, in incubator. He born early, my wife's life was in danger, emergency room. So all of that was very difficult. So I shared that story as I'm going through that difficult time, and my parents came to visit because they want to see the baby. So another pressure, the baby couldn't come out of the hospital. You understand, every complication, what people call, we're having a bad day, right? As you're having those, what we call bad day, you sometimes share a story that can save life of people without even you know that. 15 years later, you're going to hear about it. Story I share is a true story that happened in Borough Park. If you know New York, Brooklyn, it's a true story that happened to a family. It's a sad story, but it's a very important story. In Borough Park, what they do in the summer, they travel 2 hours north to be in a cooler weather. Like they have bungalow there and they sleep there. It's very nice. It's the Catskill, I think they call it the Catskill if I'm not mistaken. And the story goes with a religious guy working in the city in Manhattan and his wife who's, going to the Catskills, she sleep there. And usually the husband visit only on Shabbat, on Friday. And then Sunday they go back home so they can go work on Monday. She's pregnant and she's telling him, do me a favor, don't forget the checkbook. And it's okay, we'll not forget the checkbook. She called him Thursday morning. She called him 3 hours later and said, don't forget the checkbook again. The guy started to get angry. He said to her, honey, I'm a very meticulous guy, I never forget a thing. Why would you mention it again? They just want to make sure. Thursday night before he goes to sleep, she called him again. Said, don't forget the checkbook. He started getting angry. He said, honey, you already told me that and enough already. You told me not to forget. I'm not going to forget. I'm not like you. He started talking bad to her. You always forget things. I never forget things. That's it. In the morning, you go to work just to check things before you go to the Catskill. She called again. He's like pissed. He's screaming. He shut off the phone. And he drives to the Catskill. He arrived, and those of you who know how Orthodox family work, usually before Shabbat, it's very hectic time. Everybody wants to finish things before sunset. So he's waiting for her to asking for the checkbook. And she's not. And it's very meticulous guy. Like, that's how he write the story. Nothing. Not even where's the checkbook, something. And he's like, please. Sunset, she like the candle, he's not even there, he doesn't care. He's doing the blessing over the wine. He wish she would say something about the checkbook. Nothing. Saturday, he doesn't talk to his wife. Saturday night, he screamed at her. He said, you told me to bring the checkbook 3 times. You know how exact I am. I never forget a thing. And you didn't even ask me for this. And she said, they spoke Hebrew. זה לא חשוב. It's not important. Honey, it's not important. It's not the most important thing in life. Forget about it. זה לא חשוב. He left the house. He drove back to Borough Park. 4 a.m. in the morning, he get a phone call from the hospital that she's giving birth, but there's some complication. They need him to come back. 4 a.m. he drive back, arrive around 6. They take him aside. They tell him that he has a baby boy, but his wife didn't make it. True story. He used the check, the first check that he used was for Chevrat Kadisha, for the company that bury a person. And he wrote in the memo, I wish I can find like the picture of it, זה לא חשוב. It's not important. So I shared that story 15 years ago to that group, and that gentleman happened to be there. What I'm trying to say, that in the physical universe, there's things that seem very important to us, but they're really not important at all. If we can relate more things to the spiritual universe, we can understand that. But if we want to compare all the spiritual study into physical thing, we will not be able to make it. And that's what Rav Ashlag is always careful. Let's move to the next words. He say, Or Elyon Pashut, upper simple light or upper light that spread out. What does that mean? היינו האור המתפשט, the light is spread out, מעצמות הבורא. I need your skill of memory now. Now I'm going to teach you to remember things. The way it works is like this. You need to remember those words. First thing, creator. Okay, first thing, creator. Second thing, essence of the creator. Okay, you have to remember the order. Creator, essence of the creator. After the essence of the creator, we have the light, the spread from the essence of the creator. We call that light endless light. So far so good? Creator, essence of the creator, light. Or endless light if you wish. So far so good? You able to remember that? Yes? Yeah. Creator, essence of the creator, endless light. היינו האור המתפשט מעצמות הבורא יתברך, ודע שכל השמות והתורים הבאים בחוכמת הקבלה אינם חס ושלום מעצמות הבורא. Every name you're ever going to find in Kabbalah or in the Torah, like God, like Elohim, like Yud Kevavke, like Adonai, all those names, he used the word chas v'shalom, they are not, God forbid, are has to do with the essence of the Creator. אלא רק באור המתפשט, only has to do with the light that spread out from the essence of the Creator. אמנם בעצמותו יתברך אין לנו שום מילה והגה כלל. We have no idea what the essence of the Creator is. We don't know what the Creator is. We don't know what the essence of the Creator is. We don't even know what the endless light is. We only know about the endless light is a force of giving and sharing. Would you remember that? Creator, no idea. We know there is Creator, but we don't know. We know the Creator create. That's it. What is it? No idea. The essence of the Creator, no idea. The light that comes from the essence of the Creator, we experience that but we only know that it's an endless giving, but we don't know what it is too. So when we names words like Elohim or different name of God, what people call God, like in English you call everything God, right? You call everything God. When you talk about Genesis, the same God as you talk in Exodus, but it's not. If you look at the Hebrew, in Genesis it says Bereshit bara Elohim. In Exodus they talk about Tetragrammaton, Yud Kei Vav Kei. Different name, different angles of the light of the Creator coming down to us. Try to imagine a candle now standing here on this table. The candle is the essence of the Creator, is everything. You are down the table, you experience only the light that comes from the candle. You are not aware of what the candle is. So the candle is the Creator. The essence of the Creator is the wax and the wick and everything, but you can't see it. You only can see the light that comes from the candle. Is that clear? So that's why we are not truly experience the Creator. We are not truly experience the essence of the Creator. We experience the light that comes from the essence of the Creator. Why is it important to know that? First, to know how far we are. Not to depress us, but to understand what we're dealing with. Because sometimes you kind of have this little ego, and I'm very happy when students have ego. I'm very happy. Because if a student have ego, and you show them how the ego is ridiculous compared to the big picture, then the ego is gone. When students work on their ego, I tell them stop working on the ego. If you have justification to have ego, then you should have. If you have justification, you save, let's say, 1 million people, have ego. Why not? It's great. You want to have ego, have ego. But in the same time, you should be aware of how big the picture is. Once you realize the picture, how big it is, you said, whoa. My heavy ego is almost like you have Leonardo da Vinci holding a brush, and he makes the most beautiful creation, and the brush all of a sudden say, you see what I just did? I don't mind the brush, I have ego, Leonardo da Vinci will say. But once the brush starts to realize and study how big it is, the brush will never say it again. The only reason the brush saying it is because the brush is not aware of the big picture. So, כי זה הכלל, כל מה שלא נשיג לא נדעהו בשם. The rules say, whatever you didn't achieve, or whatever you didn't reach, you cannot give it a name. You can only give a name to think that you achieve. וזכור זאת ואל תיכשל. Remember that, and you will never fall down in this type of study. What I want you to do right now, as couple, share with each other for the next 3 minutes, what do you think you got so far from what we studied together? Just share. I want to see how you guys do it. Share with each other. יש אנשים... let's just continue. Let's just continue for a second. And I want to tell you first, I'm very happy with the foundation, how we did it tonight. Very important foundation. So what I'm going to do now, before I'm taking you into a short meditation, tell me if there is a question that you want to ask. This will be the best time. Yes, Julia.
Yeah, like you said, like God is creating. When it sounds like emotion.
Why?
It's like God making movement, like He's creating something. God creation, and
That's beautiful.
And before you said like the time is motion, like it's
Because if you
time
create,
exists when the
if
God
you
is
create,
creating
yeah, we
something.
didn't study it yet. The answer for that come later. It's called yesh me'ain, something from nothing. It's a difficult concept to understand, but we're going to study it soon. And all of you would have to be able to teach it as well. Yesh me'ain means something from nothing. So it's a difficult concept. It's an axiom, as they say in math. It's an axiom. It's very difficult for the brain to accept it. How can you do something from nothing? So you're touching something very deep, but not yet. We're going to get there. But thank you for the question. It's very good. Yes, please. Yes, of course you. I was waiting for you to ask something. I was looking at you the whole time. I said, we good there? It's because of you guys, that you told me we got to start, They don't want to push me. Yes.
So, since we can't pray to God in a physical way, so praying in a spiritual way is knowing that we can't put time into it.
Very good, very good. You almost there? Yes, what do you want to say? That's very good. Go there. It's very good. Very good.
I can't explain it.
Yeah, but I feel you. Can I help with that?
Yeah.
Okay. If you feel it's not what you meant, please stop me. When you pray to an existence that exists, which means it's already there. You're not praying for things that you don't have. You're praying to reveal things which are already there. The prayer is totally different. So when you go say, let's say soulmate, money, health. So the health is there already. I just need to reveal that, like to remove the cover and then find that the health is there. It's very difficult for the mind, very difficult. Or for example, solution for a problem is before the problem appears, there is already a solution. But the problem has to come to your life so you can find the solution. You understand? The whole universe is very profound. And I'm not saying it's easy to remember. I forget it many times. Even if I'm teaching it, thank God that I'm teaching it because I would not be able to remember it. God gave me the gift of teaching, so I remind myself that. So everything I ever wanted in my life, it's already there. It's my job to discover it. So when I pray to God, is to help me remove my illusionary brain so I can see my fulfillment.
Thank you.
It's a very important concept, very important concept. Like this is now happening here. I didn't think of it 2 years ago, but it already exists within the plan. I just had to do some change internally to discover it. Remove fear, remove different things that I had to, and then it's there. So you also need to think about your life. What is about you that you're not ready yet to change, so you can discover what you meant to discover. Yeah. Yes, please.
So when we're out of our body,
After death, yeah.
will we know the creator and the essence of the
Very
creator?
good question. I mean, now you're taking me to another book, but I will answer it anyway. It's more a course that people ask me online to do, which has to do with afterlife or reincarnation. It's very beautiful what you're asking. If the person was addicted to the body, I mean, only body conscious, when they leave the body, they're very confused. If the person is into spiritual study, when they leave the body, they're very happy. For example, in Hindu or in Zen, they write that most of what they do is to prepare for the day of death. That's their religion. That's their spirituality. It sounds depressing, but it's not. Because they said that the main part of life is afterlife. Because what you're doing here is just dealing with your body, if you think about it. It's very profound. So not everybody is the same. Not everybody is the same after they leave this world, unfortunately. Not everybody is the same.
Consciousness, or is it what you've done?
No, it's what you study.
What you study?
The study is so important, specifically this type of study. This type of study makes sure the soul will find the path after you leave this world. So in a way, this study is more for after than actually for now. I'm not trying to make you feel depressed about the day of death, but it's important too. And you ask a great question, because for the last 4 weeks, I'm studying only a book that deals with afterlife, and a very deep book. So I'm still considering to share what's there or not. There is
It's all an illusion anyway, so this is not the real
exactly.
life. So
Exactly. But you need to do. But what you need to do here is to study. Must study, not maybe. The study itself and stuff like that help your soul. More question, or I can take you to a short meditation. Yes, please.
Why do we have to differentiate between the creator and the essence of the creator if we know nothing about
Very
it?
good. Very good words. Why it's not one? Very good. Well, it is one in a way, but there is levels. There is almost like filter. So the creator is everything. Within the creator, everything is included. But between the creator to this physical table, there is a path. Once we know that path, we know everything. A Kabbalist pray is climbing from here to the path. And that's why, for example, when you do a blessing in Hebrew, what is the word that you use a lot? Bore. Bore. Mezonot, bore, gefen. Bore mean in Hebrew, creator. My teacher is to stop in the word bore. Is to hold, bore, stop, bring the bore. That means when I do bore, I'm creating it, or I'm connected to original creation. Within the water you drink, the food you eat, there is a DNA of the original creation from bore. You can connect to it through the food, through the water. But most of the water we drink lost the bore. In Hebrew you can play with it. Bore also, bari. Bari means helping. So if you can inject bore into everything, it's actually everything. So there is really no essence or endless light. So once that supplement, we're going to study it, that already, because something happened. But you're actually touching something very profound. Nobody ever asked me that. Thank you for that question. I hope it answered it a little bit. Not all the way I feel you. Hopefully it didn't go all the way. Hopefully with more lecture it will answer it. Let's go to a short meditation, because I have my lovely wife who give me a sign that don't explode your brain. And what I want you to do is a very simple meditation. It's not complicated. Is where do you want this light to go to? What area of your physical life you want that light of the study to go to? Every person has area of their life where they need the light to go to. Some of us is to our health, some of us to our business, some of us for your children, for your family, for well-being. So just take 2 minutes, 3 minutes, just think. And the way you think is just you close your eyes. It's called itbonenut. Itbonenut means looking into something. And you close your eyes and you think to see the light. You know, it's not physical light. To take that energy of the study and inject it to that one area where you want the light to go to. Thank you everybody. Thank you everybody for coming. It was very, very nice to do the first lecture, first class. It sounded very good, first class with you. Thank you so much. All right.